Hey, Dr. Mike here. You got eczema and having a hard time controlling those flare-ups? Well, stick around to learn some strategies that can help.
You're listening to Live Foreverish, a show dedicated to helping you live just a little longer. Here's your hosts, Dr. Mike and Dr. Crystal Gossard.
All right, welcome to Live Foreverish. We're talking about eczema today. Got a lot of information for you. Dr. Crystal, the latest statistics show that about 10.1% of the U.S. population is diagnosed with eczema. It's more common during childhood years. Over 60% of people with the most common forms of eczema, known as atopic dermatitis, which we can get into that, will receive a diagnosis within a year of experiencing initial symptoms. And we have this whole breakdown, too, of who's most likely based on skin colors to get eczema. What do you think about those? Anything surprise you there?
Well, what surprised me is it's pretty even. Sometimes you'll see, it ranges from 10% to 13%. Yeah. When you look at Asians or Pacific Islanders, Black or African Americans, Native Americans, white, sometimes you see a population where it's like 25% or, that you see these big
nothing stands out
variations.
Yeah.
So that stood out to me that it seems to impact different skin colors, races, in the ethnicities about the same.
Equal. Yeah. Across the board here. One last stat. This is, I was aware of this, but not this percent. Mm-hmm. People with atopic dermatitis, the most common form, have a 44% greater risk of considering suicide.
That was very sad.
Very sad, and it's like, what is? And I don't think we've known about this link a little bit, but I don't think a lot of research has been done. Or maybe I'm wrong.
Well, what I'm seeing is you are finding integrative practitioners now incorporating more. I guess you could call it mental health strategies, but more strategies to manage and support a healthy mind, the psyche in those individuals. Mm-hmm. So everything from massage therapy to yoga to even acupuncture, it's now being incorporated as a strategy because it is very embarrassing. We are a world where perfection is desired.
Yeah, I think that was there's a fork in the road for a lot of researchers here. Is it more just on that side of it? Mm-hmm. Or is there a link between the inflammation, the chronic inflammation, doing some screwing up some of the brain chemicals a little bit, combination of both?
Well, right? That's a good point, Dr. Mike. You do see a connection between more stress, more outbreaks. Yeah. So there is something going on with maybe the stress, maybe the, is it the dermatitis or is it the mental health issues that's kind of the driving force with this statistic?
There are 7 different types of eczema. I now that I see these 7, I do remember learning all these 7.
Really?
Yes, I do. I definitely forgot about some of them.
Okay.
Yeah. We're not going to get into all that. Today we kind of grouped them, right? It's eczema in general. The most common is the atopic dermatitis. And so but if you've been diagnosed with eczema, this show could help. At the end of
Correct. And most of the information, I would say 95%, we're focusing on atopic dermatitis. It's the most common.
Okay. All right. Now, one of the things that people ask a lot about in Google land, right, is what's the difference between another common skin condition, psoriasis. Like, what's the difference and how can I tell? Well, ultimately, get your doctor, get an expert to look and do their workup. But there are some differences for sure. Like, for instance, psoriasis, the immune system is overactive in a manner that leads to the growth of too many cells too fast. Eczema, although there is an immune connection, it's not about too many cells, right?
Correct. And another way to look at this is psoriasis is kind of considered autoimmune, and eczema, although there's some overreactivity, it's not. There's some debate. People wouldn't necessarily put it in a bucket as an autoimmune disease, but you do see immune activation in, I guess, the pathogenesis of eczema.
Your eczema is going to be 4 times more common than psoriasis. Eczema often first appears in babies and children, but of course it can manifest all the way up to age 35.
Well, that's in psoriasis.
Oh, that's psoriasis.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
With eczema, you see it in babies. You can sometimes see a sign, cradle cap, in a baby is kind of pointing you in the direction of eczema. But then with psoriasis, is something that appears later.
Yeah. And with psoriasis, the itch tends to be not so bad. Eczema, it's like you don't stop.
The itching is keeping people up at night.
Yeah. A friend of ours, had it, and she would always, what helped her was ice. It just helped to calm down that itching all the time.
Interesting.
And she needed that extra help.
Huh.
So she would use ice. But anyways, and then eczema is back of knees, elbows, hands, and then psoriasis, knees, elbows, scalp. That doesn't really help as much. It can kind of happen. Both of these can happen just about anywhere. So that's just some differences. But of course, that's really, you got to talk to your doctor about all that.
Right. Absolutely. I think when you see, though, those silvery scales or those plaques where that the skin is really thick. Now, of course, you can see that if someone's been scratching a lot.
Too much, yeah.
But in general, you do see the plaques more with the psoriasis as well.
So let's bring this back now to eczema. That's where we're going to be focusing on. Where are we at with some of these causes? Like and it's one of those skin conditions where they've laid out a lot of potential factors, and again, it's all of these together, right? I don't want people to think it's either this that we're about to say, or it's usually a combination of everything that we're about to say.
Yeah, it's also, I kind of think of it as a cycle, and once you get into that. We always like to say vicious cycle, but when you get into the vicious cycle, you do have a combination of multiple factors that's going into those flare-ups, and sometimes people focus on one factor, which is fine, but you kind of have to strategically come in and target every entry point.
Yeah.
In order to reduce the flare-ups.
Stabilizing what we're about to go through, stabilizing all of these is the goal of its treatment, not just one. So the first thing is skin barrier dysfunction. Some people call this leaky skin barrier, or like leaky gut.
Yes.
This is leaky skin.
It absolutely. That's what's happening. The allergens, irritants, pathogens can get in. Water, that transdermal water barrier that's keeping your water, your moisture into the skin, it's not there. So now water is getting out, which of course is going to lead to dry skin, leading to more skin inflammation.
There's a little cycle right there, right?
There's your cycle, because then that leads us to some of the immune response that we see with eczema.
Yeah, so that's just a breakdown of skin barrier, right there. Then you got, and again, think of these as kind of connected, right? You have skin dysbiosis.
This is something that you see.
Staph aureus starts going crazy.
Which is going to then lead to more skin barrier dysfunction. So now you see this cycle that's already appearing with immunity, overgrowth, and we do see that sometimes we used to think that it was the scratching which disrupted the skin barrier, which just made it a better breeding ground for staph to grow. But now there was one paper in 2012 that showed that staph went up before the flare.
Flare up, yeah.
So it's almost like in some cases, the staph is coming first.
Yeah, that was a 2012 study in Genome Research. So just really interesting stuff. And then there's some people who are now also proposing, I mean, if you're going to talk about a skin barrier and dysbiosis of the skin, is this also connected to a gut dysbiosis? So are we talking about a skin, gut, or is it gut, skin, however you want to say it, access? Sure.
I know.
Why not? I mean, we all know things are connected. I mean, the gut microbes we've already talked about, they're connected to everything.
Well, when you talk about,
I oversaid that. Maybe not everything, but
well,
close.
I don't know,
Pretty
Dr.
close.
Mike. Look, aren't we? Well, I'm not going to go there. I was going to say, aren't we more bacteria DNA? But it's about even.
Remember, we came up with the last time we had a live show. We came to the conclusions that we're mostly just water and bacteria. We're not even ourselves. But somehow it all comes together to make Dr. Crystal.
I know.
So that's skin dysbiosis, and then here's where the inflammation kind of starts coming in. Inflammation, immune system hyperactivity, and this all may be. Well, I don't think it's a maybe for me. I mean, this is what the body does. Your body starts reacting to all this.
Yes.
Driving up the inflammation. You can have now an overactive immune issue going on in that skin. And guess what that's going to cause? Skin barrier breakdown, more dysbiosis.
More itch.
It's just,
inflammatory.
More itch.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it's just, and that's that cycle you were talking about.
That is
Vicious
absolutely the vicious cycle. Because we have to remember, a lot of times the immune system and inflammation is there to try to heal what's happening.
Yeah.
But
it's powerful. It has to be controlled.
Yeah.
And so there's some sort of mismanagement of that inflammatory spot, which ultimately is what happens even with age and chronic inflammation, right? We just don't we don't call back those fighters as good as we do, and that's why you have this like residual low grade burning wood. Something like that in your body. And then it may be inherited. I don't know.
Yes, that's something that I've read, and we do see inherited, and we also we're seeing SNPs related to skin barrier issues.
Now, another question people ask, and I think we've kind of covered this: can eczema be linked to gut health or autoimmune issues? I think we kind of covered that. The answer is yes. Overall,
we do, and you find again practitioners trying to address it and get it under control early in the babies, early in life, to try to limit some of the future allergies and autoimmune issues that may come later in life.
Let's now we're going to go to your expertise.
Okay,
food first. Food first, both maybe in causes and treatment.
I know. So
what's going on here?
I have, this is going to sound just crazy, Dr. Mike, but I'm just going to say it because I have personal experience with this. I have mild eczema. I wouldn't even, probably not enough to comment on, but my son, we have battled with eczema since he was a baby. And I've tried all of the food solutions and I have not been successful. Yeah. And so I just want to say that because you will hear milk, cut out the gluten, cut out all of these things, which in a child where you're trying to expose them to as many foods as possible, it can be very challenging.
It's hard.
But
understood.
Just really focusing in on, more anti-inflammatory foods.
Yeah.
The olive oil, the fish, the
good
fruit,
stuff anyways.
the vegetables.
Good stuff anyways.
The good stuff, and probably not
cut out so much
over so many things.
Yeah, because it's almost never ending. Because there's going to be another food pop up that may be linked to it. But there is evidence. This was from the Korean National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey. It's kind of we have a version of this kind of survey. Over 17,000 participants. They found an association between intake of dietary patterns high in meat, instant noodles, soda, and processed foods. Now, I guess this is more Korean
Yes.
population. That's
It
your
was.
instant noodles,
Yeah.
and processed foods, and a 57% greater risk of atopic dermatitis compared to when those foods are low. So
And specifically, the instant noodles were problematic.
yeah. Isn't that funny? Because to me, is it the instant noodles or is it the instant package stuff they're pouring in there?
Right. The little packet.
There's a lot of stuff in that.
That packet, the bomb flavor packet.
Let me tell you something.
It's
Hannah
so
likes it.
good.
I do. No, I think it's great. But you know what I found, because I do want to eat it sometimes, I'll do maybe half the packet because there's a lot of salt in those things.
Well, that part.
Woo!
Who knows what that's doing?
I swell up. All right, so there's some foods there. Let's get into some of the most effective treatments. And, we're talking about eczema in general, but keep in mind, there's a cycle to this. You're going to have times where it's not so bad.
Yeah.
You're going to have those flare-ups.
Yep.
Maybe Staph aureus is linked to those kind of whatever. But all of these things, if you're focusing on the foods you had just mentioned, lifestyle we're about to go over, and some nutrient add-ins, all of these together, it's making... It's settling everything down, meaning your flare-ups maybe not so bad,
Yes.
right? I'm not
Yes.
saying we're getting rid of all that. We can't say
Right.
that, but I think it's more, as we said with those main causes, it's minimizing all of that, and that's what we're offering here.
That's it. And I like starting with lifestyle, mild soaps, good moisturization.
Wait, stop there. The mild. What is it? What does that mean?
So free of fragrances, free of the colors that's in your soaps. It's not going to smell great. It's just going to be hyperallergenic.
But it cleans.
It cleans.
It cleans.
Yes,
You're fine.
yes,
So-
without the flare.
So, like if you're in the store, those types of products will say for sensitive skin. Would that be considered a
Sensitive
mild
skin, but you still want to look for fragrance-free, sensitive skin. Our whole family, we wash with a sensitive skin product made for babies. The whole family.
Yeah.
Because you tend to not have so many, and sometimes I'm not saying like all natural, because sometimes when you see products where they're natural, but they have all of these herbs and these,
they're still adding a lot. Well, all the fragrance,
right?
Where's
You
that
want
coming
it
from?
to be as simple of an ingredient list as possible to limit any variable that could be causing the flare up.
You can also look into small businesses that make their own soaps.
Yes.
We had a friend here, John Finch. Remember John? He lives in the UK now. His wife made soaps.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's kind of a side business.
That's something that we would do as a family, not as often, but go to the farmer's market and get some of that. But even with those, you have to be careful because they add essential oils and things into those soaps.
Be careful,
so
but just a thought. Maybe there's something.
Yes. So, and then good moisturization.
100%. Moisturize. It's the only thing proven that's ever consistently across study after to help your skin.
Yes.
All these are things we do. I'm not saying there's not support. I'm not saying any of that. But keep your skin moist. Key. For everyone.
Yes.
Avoid things that are irritating triggers, of course. And then you kind of learn what that is like for you personally. So that's really good. You have now with Lifestyle sunflower oil. What's this?
Yes, this is topical sunflower oil. Good research. We'll talk about
Interesting.
coconut oil, topical B12.
Well, I've heard of the coconut oil, and I'm familiar with that. I was not familiar with sunflower
oil blew my mind, even compared to olive oil. This study, a 2013 study compared sunflower oil to olive oil. Olive oil was the control. Olive oil kind of made things worse, increased transdermal water loss. And so it goes to show you sometimes we think certain things are, but think about olive oil.
But
When
people
when you taste it, it's astringent.
It is, but people do rub olive oil on their skin.
I know, but I'm just giving you the data.
We did something like that, didn't we? Once where we had olive oil, we were rubbing it on our hands, and I remember when we did the olive oil, it made me hungry because
we did. We made a skin scrub.
It reminded me
like a sugar scrub or a salt scrub
and we had
with olive oil.
there, and I'm like,
well, if you have to compare the two, Dr. Mike, sunflower oil has research, not just this one 2013 study. It has anti-inflammatory effects. There's something about it. I don't know exactly what it is. I know sunflower oil is rich in vitamin E.
Yeah, E.
But it's just something to try.
It increases ceramide production. Did you say that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, and that's big. Ceramides are the kind of the if you think of your upper skin as a brick and mortar, the bricks are the skin cells.
Yes, it's almost like the glue for your skin cells.
Yeah, and then the ceramides are the stuff in between. All right. Okay. Thank you.
And then, of course, there's coconut oil. Studies show that applying coconut oil typically reduces the amount of staph bacteria on the skin, which reduces the chance of infection. So, applying coconut oil once or twice a day to damp skin. And be sure to choose coconut oil that is virgin or cold pressed.
Yeah. See, again, I'm just all hungry now. So I'm going to talk a little bit about topical B12. So I have some experience with that. Here's the thing that happened to me. Now, I was doing it. This was a long time ago, Doctor. Like, I think I was still in maybe just starting college, let's say, and it was a spring break, and we got real sunburned.
Okay.
And the thing back then,
were you laying out? You're just young and free. Not putting on any sunblock.
Oh, just right. We just all got. And I don't sunburn that bad. I really don't because I have that Mediterranean.
Darker, yeah.
But I got. It was pretty. Everybody. Like I had some friends that were like as red as an apple. And so we. But somebody said, "Oh, this is the latest thing for this kind of stuff," and it was a B12. I think it was more like a serum or something. I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, and don't if you have sunburn.
Really?
The burn was so intense. It was almost like you'd rather just go back out in the sun. It was really, really, really bad. Now that's just my little experience with it. But topical B12 in the case of eczema has been shown to be helpful, right?
Yes, and there is a recipe at nationaleczema.org. They have a complimentary and alternative page, and they have like the little recipe, and it gives you the percentage. I think it's 0.07% B12, and tells you where you can buy like the raw B12 powder and make your own concoction.
Yeah. Let's move on to nutrient add-ins. The first one, and again, everything we're about to share with you, there's a list right here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good research behind these nutrients. You have gamma linoleic acid.
Yeah, so you'll get that. I think we can go through some of the primrose oil, primrose oil, borage oil.
Borage oil.
I can't remember the others. I had a whole list in my head.
Yeah, but those are all, that's what it is, basically. It's called GLA.
GLA, and there was some research that there may be some issues with the body making GLA. This is kind of a little genetic thing with GLA, and
that
so
would maybe the
helpful.
inheritance part of it,
right?
Yep. Vitamin E. Vitamin E, just a great antioxidant overall, but also has been shown, I think, not just in eczema, but in other studies, good for the skin.
Very good for the skin. I've even seen the pure vitamin E helpful with burn treatment.
Yeah. Now, that's interesting.
Yes. Well, like to prevent the scarring.
This is
after. To help the healing.
Oh, yeah. We used to do combinations of E and K.
Yes.
To prevent that, yeah. But vitamin E, it comes in different forms and stuff, right?
Yes.
So I think what we're talking about is a vitamin. If you're going to use it as an add-in, we're talking about the vitamin E that has a lot of those different forms, the tocotrienols, the tocopherols, right? We're not isolating one vitamin D?
I haven't seen that. I kind of briefly looked into some of the studies, and I've seen some with just the D alpha tocopherol.
Oh, so you have.
But we do know it's the combination is a good strategy.
Yeah, I would have figured the combination. Okay, all right. Melatonin, that just pops up.
Well, it's interesting with melatonin. We talked about the itching at night and sleep. I think it could help with that.
Ooh,
Get you a good night's rest, perhaps.
Yeah.
And then, melatonin has a lot of other beneficial properties.
It's an antioxidant. Mm-hmm. I mean, I consider it one of the best brain antioxidants, right? So you want to keep those levels up. Omega-3s, woo-hoo-hoo. Yes.
That's definitely a check mark.
Yes, and then
in my book.
And the last one on our list, yes.
All day long.
I take this one along with my omegas every day.
And there's
curcumin.
Research with curcumin, the curcuminoids, kind of the phytosome, this newer.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
I know some of this newer delivery.
You get more in your system.
Technology with curcumin.
Now, one big question online that is popping up a lot is about nutrient add-ins is vitamin D. Would that be helpful? I don't know. I'm not up to date on eczema and vitamin D research, but without looking at anything, you know what I tell you? Yes.
Look, it's when you are trying to manage flare-ups, you need to make sure that your vitamin D is optimal.
If there is any immune role in any of this, you have to have optimal vitamin D blood levels because vitamin D is the master orchestrator of all those immune components.
Absolutely. And it's in research. There was one study, a 4-week study, 2,000 IUs daily. Led to clinical improvements in eczema or atopic dermatitis, and there was a reduction in staph.
See?
Like, what?
Yes, that covers.
How did that happen?
But that covers all the main things.
Right.
Oh, please get your vitamin D levels up. There's your take-home message.
The vitamin D is the immune. It's the staph. The skin barrier disruption that comes from all of that, I think it's definitely
the research
has to be an add-in.
The research, one study 5,000 units a day, another 2,000 units a day. They attained blood levels that I still consider kind of low. Whatever that is, talk to your doctor. 2,000, 5,000. You do 8,000.
Yeah.
But there is an optimal range in nanograms per mil. It's 50 to 80. Is that about right? Yeah, 50 to 80. So know that and get those levels up. Here's another one. Are probiotics helpful? Now, I already know that because I've seen some of this research.
Yes.
And I know the research is okay with it. But yes, why not?
But
Take
you know
some
what you're seeing now, Dr. Mike, and I'm still torn. I have to say this. But the topical I'm seeing the soaps with probiotics. I am seeing the washes where they're adding probiotics. I know. Don't give me that squinty eye, Dr.
I mean, because when I hear that, I'm not saying it doesn't work, but the skepticism is you're washing it away right away. I mean, that's like how are they really absorbing into the skin? There's a lot of questions there. Your skin actually has defenses against some of that stuff. So I don't know. That sounds a little...
Yeah, but there's some preliminary research that topical probiotics in many delivery ways, that can help to balance some of that overgrowth of the staph.
Okay.
To help to kind of get the pH aligned in the skin. So
all right. I'm not... Listen, that's fine. Go for it. I still think you should do it orally. Why not?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
For sure.
Vitamin D, probiotics, of course. I mean, that's
and omega-3.
You got to throw the omega-3s in there. We're not. There are. The only thing I'm going to say about conventional treatments. There's several. The efficacy on these 50-50 at best. For just some things work great for people, not everybody else. It's often a trial error. And just talk to your doctor. Here's the thing. don't shy away from conventional stuff. If it helps with all these other things we talked about, talk to your doctor about these nutrient add-ins. Talk about some of those strategies we've gone over, and that works great. That's integrative medicine.
I agree. I think you can combine some of this. Just your steroids, don't use them. They're not long term. But I do want to just highlight my personal favorite, that it's a conventional treatment, but more of lifestyle, is the wet wrap therapy. I use this for my son, and when I tell you it works, and I will use, sometimes we have like water wipes, and I will warm the water wipe.
Well, I don't even know what a water wipe is.
It's like a it's like a wet one, or it's used for babies.
Okay,
it's
so you wet those.
A diaper wipe, but this is it's water wipe. It's water, and you wet. It's already wet, but I like to warm it, and I put it on the skin, and sometimes I'll use a gauze and wrap the gauze around and let him sleep that way. And the next morning, the skin is. It's like magic.
Probably feels good,
and then
too.
I also found just a little trick out of my personal toolbox is those burn. It's almost like these silicone bandages, but they're wet, they're moist, and they're used to treat burns.
Burns, yeah, small. Like you see them in the store now too. Yeah.
Yes, those can be very helpful to just for an overnight.
Nice.
And the skin, it improves the skin when you're having a flare up, and very soothing. So that's just a personal anecdote. And
I love
some
it.
research
that's great.
that helps.
So vitamin D, fish oil, probiotics, and wet wraps.
Yes.
And maybe some those Band-Aids with silicone, or what was it? Yeah, those wet Band-Aids.
Yes.
There you go. Fantastic information. Hopefully you found some strategies here to help you. Again, please talk to your doctor. If you have eczema, you should be with your physician 100%. These are just suggestions for you. But they are backed by research. We always present solid, rigorous research information to our audience. Don't forget, you go to liveforeverish.com, and we now have over 550 right? Episodes.
I'll have to look again.
Maybe wait. I keep forgetting. It's a lot. There's a lot there. You could listen. We cover so many topics. When you're there, go ahead, watch one, listen to it, like it, share it, and of course subscribe so you never miss a show. That's at Live Foreverish. Are you checking?
I'm checking.
So that's at liveforeverish.com.
553.
553. Look at that. 553 episodes in 5 years.
We're pumping out the content.
And then, of course, our sponsor, you can see them right there, Life Extension. They want to say thank you. Go over to lifeextension.com and use the discount code podcast for 10% off, or once you spend $50 or more, plus free shipping and handling. That's
podcast
at lifeextension.com. I'm Dr. Mike.
Dr. Crystal.
Thanks for listening.